Welcome to Backfield Breakdown. I am Justin. That is Blake. How are you doing this evening? I can't talk. How about that? It's been another crazy week. But that's okay. Because first I want to know,
I have drank the liquor.
what are you drinking tonight?
Tonight, I have one of my favorite cocktails, Tito's and yellow Gatorade.
Um, um, Folks, this isn't just for like effect. I've never heard this before. Why are you drinking that?
Because it's good. It replenishes your electrolytes while you drink.
At least you're drinking my second favorite vodka. It's about normal for me. Voodoo Ranger again.
Mm-hmm.
This time it's Tropic Force. I don't know if I was drinking that last time. I don't remember. It's cheap and it's tasty and I like it.
Because it's sterile and I like the taste.
There has been a lot of sad things last week in the NFL, or good. I just want to jump right into, well, actually, it's the first game here up on Google. Broncos and Saints, man. 33-10 Broncos, and it wasn't Bo Nix. He didn't even have a touchdown, man. It was Javonte Williams. Does everyone remember last year? Right. None of you Broncos fans remember last year because you were smacked across the face every week by Russell Wilson, waiting for him to throw more touchdowns than he had bathrooms. So I understand if that was a hard time for you, but you remember a guy named Javonte Williams, and guess what? That boy can still run. 14 carries, 88 yards, 2 touchdowns. But the bigger thing is the defense.
Solid.
33 points was no fluke.
Mm-hmm.
And wait, oh, am I just being ridiculous right now? Okay, scratch that, everybody. So the defense was really good. Lots of tackles, lots of good tackles. Will Lutz, 15 points. So lots of different ways that they scored in this game, and the defense wasn't one of those ways. But either either way, you know what? I'm not gonna cut that because that's a good way to just start off the podcast. Either way, no interceptions from either player. And you know what? For throwing 35 times, Spencer Rattler, less than 200 yards, but 25 to 35. Pretty good.
Bo Nix may not be a superstar like Jaden Daniels, but I think by the end of the year, he'll be a really solid quarterback.
You just brought up a theme, though, for the week, man. Injuries. Jaden Daniels went down, but there's good news. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't a head injury. There we
No,
go. That's a big old check mark, and the ribs aren't broken, apparently.
no. Just week to week. I don't know who they're playing next week, but I got a feeling that they'll probably sit him out 1 week just to make sure.
You can't really judge a game against the Panthers. But they're
Mediocre.
playing the Bears next week. They could get it. You give the ball enough to Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler, and I think they could do it. Mariota played most of the game.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels only had 2 throws. I mean, he was
Yeah,
he
it
was he was hot, 2 for 2.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, it was very, very early on in the game, which
yeah,
sucks. I had him on my fantasy team. I think he got
that's
me
too bad.
3.5 points or something like that.
That's sad for fantasy. Non-fantasy terms, though,
He's
it's
week to week.
yep, and it's crazy to know that Marcus Mariota is good.
He's not. Don't let him fool.
Hey, whoa. Okay, whoa. 18 for 23, 205 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And he carried the ball. He had a very bad average, but he carried the ball 11 times for 34 yards.
I wouldn't expect to see that very much from him.
Probably not. Probably not.
Who knows though?
Do you expect to see Zach Ertz continue to have a resurgence for the rest of the year like he's had this year?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was one of the ones I talked about that was a big pickup for them. I think.
he was a big pickup.
I think he'll be good all year.
Scary Terry's really coming into his own.
Hmm.
It's about time. That boy burned me so many times when I was playing fantasy. Last thing I'd want to say before we can move on is I don't think Ben's getting that tattoo. Moving on though, don't really need to talk about the Jags game. Good for them. They bounced back. The only thing we do need to mention is that Billy Boy came out of the cave and had a little words about what Gerard Mayo said
Hmm.
about the team's defense. Mayo said that the defense was soft. I don't watch the Patriots very much. Soft or not, Bill Belichick came out and was like he shouldn't have said that. You think at this point in October, we're half a season removed from Bill Belichick in New England, you think he misses it?
I think he'll always, a part of him will always miss it, but I think he was a year or two done before he was done, anyways, and moved into a management role. It was confirmed, right, that he is now the manager of the Dallas Cowboys.
I've stumbled onto a major company conspiracy, Mac. How about that for stress? What the hell are you talking about? This company is being bled like a stuck pig.
I know there were some rumors about Jerry Jones just kind of stepping back as the manager and being more of just an owner and letting Bill kind of come in and do his own thing.
Here's something a little weird that I'm going to pull up. Everybody, you don't know how reputable these articles are.
Mm-hmm.
Another great name. The Laundry Hat is, I will say they're powered by Fansided. I've seen Fansided a lot of places. They're pretty reputable. And everybody, it's from September 25th. It's clickbait title, but Cowboys have a new competitor for Bill Belichick after Monday Night Football disaster. That is a great statement. I think there were rumblings that he might have ended up in Atlanta, but they gave the job to somebody else. I know the doors are always open in New York for Bill, but this article says that it's the Jacksonville Jaguars who have an edge in wooing him. Jacksonville's Monday night implication against the Buffalo Bills. Now, remember, everybody, September could force owner Shad Khan to make major changes, including parting ways with Trent, but Balke with Trent. Don't want to pronounce that last name. Could be parting ways with good old Trent, and that would give Bill Belichick an opportunity to have the final say over both coaching and personal matters. Something Jerry Jones would never let him do. I disagree. Do you disagree?
I think Bill would much rather go to a place like Dallas just because it's a bigger franchise.
Do you think that Bill will bring, if he gets to Dallas, which will be, knowing his attitude, it will be if he has certain amounts of control, do you think he'll push for a coaching staff?
I don't think so. At least, I mean, we know they're not getting rid of CD or Dak. They
No,
wouldn't
no,
have
no,
done
sorry,
those kind of.
the coaching staff,
Oh, the coaching
the
staff.
offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator, and I
I
would say
don't
the
know.
quarterback coach too.
He might. I don't think a lot of it won't even be his decision. I mean, a lot of times it's the fan. Like, somebody's got to get blamed, and it's the easiest to get rid of your head coach. So if Bill gets put in that position, then he might say, "Sorry, Mike, you're out." And I don't think he'll necessarily take that spot, but
Right. You know what? I've talked too much. The Ravens. I want to hear about your boys. Good game.
what can I say? I mean, they're just smoking everyone now.
They really are, man.
Jesus, I almost said LeBron.
I mean,
Lamar.
Lamar's playing like LeBron right now, man.
Lamar
Holy.
is just top notch this season. 17 for 22, 287 yards, 5 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions, another 50 rushing yards. I think he's averaging right around 50 every game. Derrick Henry was a little bit slow in the first half, then just came.
Daddy, chill.
I think he had like a
100
70-yard run at one point.
He's ended with 169 yards.
Yeah, yeah.
Holy shit.
He had one good reception touchdown. that they didn't really need. They were still, although Tampa did sort of make a comeback in the end there.
Did they?
I think that it was like 38-17 or something like that, or less.
Wow.
And then the end score
Oh,
was
I see. They
41-31.
rattled off 21 points in the fourth.
Yeah.
Well, good for you, Baker.
I
Good
think
for
the
you.
defense just kind of stopped trying. Before I get into their defense, Mark Andrews had 2 touchdowns. He only
Yeah.
had 4 receptions, but he made them count. Bateman is starting to make a comeback. He's had, it looks like, more and more receptions every game. He only had 4 receptions, but
121, man.
one touchdown, and it was a 50-yard bomb from Lamar.
Wow.
It was a hell of a throw.
So were the Mark Andrews touchdowns in the red zone?
Right around that, yeah, they were all
Nice.
about like 20-yard. I think one of them was like 17 and one of them was 21 or something.
So without jumping the gun, he could start making jumps to being quote unquote back.
He might.
Awesome.
I think a big thing was Zay Flowers didn't get used much at all. I think he only had 1 or 2 receptions all night, but he
One.
had
a
a
big
pretty he had a big hit early in the first, and it didn't injure him much, but I think it shook him just enough where I
You're
think they
saying
were like
Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow. That's too
he got
bad.
hit pretty hard. He didn't get injured, wasn't on concussion or anything. He was still
Okay.
playing by the end of the game, but I think they kind of took it easy on him. We're like, that was close. You're really our only young wide receiver that we have. We cannot risk you getting injured. Let's let Rashad Andrews. And
Aguilar's fairly young.
he is, yeah, but he's not nearly as dominant. Rashad Bateman's older, but he's also, again, he's got that deep threat to him.
And that clear, I'm one of your outside receivers.
Yeah. But their defense does kind of scare me a little bit. I think they're one of the top teams in football, but I'm afraid if they go against another top team in football, it'll be a really close game, and their defense won't be able to hold anyone really good back.
I can't disagree with you at all. Looking at the stats, you've got it at every level. Lamar had under 10 carries. I don't think you have to worry about him losing votes for MVP with not running as well.
I'm kind of glad that he's not running as much or not getting as many carries. I mean, I do notice that they will, every couple of sets of downs, have an organized run play for him, but it's mostly just so they can get a first down real quick. And I'd much rather see him healthy, and he's disproving everyone. Everyone 2 years ago or more would say Lamar cannot throw the ball. Lamar cannot throw the ball. He's proving
man.
everyone wrong.
You're going to make them stay in a state of roll. You are, man, because he's always been a quarterback.
But so many people said he can only run. He can only run. I mean, a 50-yard touchdown last night. Deep. Like, perfect.
But, you
say he can't throw.
Everybody comment down below if I'm wrong here. Nobody ever said that Cam Newton wasn't a quarterback. Mm-hmm. Like they say Lamar isn't a quarterback. What's the difference? What, Lamar Jackson is smaller? Maybe a little faster, maybe a little more elusive, and where Cam Newton was more, I'm bigger and stronger and I can power the ball through.
Lamar is way faster and more elusive, I would definitely say. And he can throw better than Cam. I'm going to say that too.
I'm scared of you guys now, man. 100%. Hell yes.
They're up there, I think, for Super Bowl contenders for sure.
Well, you just wait till they play the Vikings, my friend.
Vikings ain't shit anymore, dude. They're done.
Yeah, Sam Darnold has been exposed, but none of us can say anymore that man is a bust. And I'll tell you why.
I think he's mediocre. He's mid.
Sam Darnold has shown one thing this year, that with a good defense and a good supporting cast around you, Sam Darnold is a fantastic game manager. Yeah, they lost by 3, but he certainly wasn't inaccurate. 22 for 27, 259. He did throw a pick, but it was only 1, and he matched it with a touchdown. And to play against such a hot team, I'm not pressing the panic button yet. 5-1 isn't something to really panic about, but they've been exposed. People know you have to take Sam Darnold out of the game because eventually you're going to find a matchup where the defense won't save you. And clearly, The defense didn't save them very well.
Jared Goff had a near perfect game again. I think he was perfect all the way up until like halfway through the third quarter.
Wow.
He went into the half like 14-14 and then completed another like 4 more passes. And I think he only missed 4 passes total. I can't remember the exact numbers, but
He missed. You're close. He missed 3.
3. That's
No
insane.
picks, man. No picks. The only
Uh,
thing he did wrong was he got -4 yards rushing. That was
Yeah.
it.
He's never been a running quarterback.
No. And he wasn't going out for a pass this game. So what can you expect? Great game by Amon. I'm not going to cut that because that's funny. A really good game from Amon-Ra St. Brown. 112 yards, but what's crazy is the catches, only 8 of them.
Mhm.
And he pulled in a touchdown.
He's a monster.
Blake is another week where I do not have a top 5. I am way more focused on the crazy crap going around the NFL than making a top 5, which shame on me. But you have one, and I know
I
it's a
do.
good one this week, so let us have it. What is it?
We're going back to football this week.
Perfect.
My
'cause-
top 5
Oof.
is the top 5 quarterbacks who are in the MVP race as of now.
Nice.
Still early in the season. Still a lot could happen. Injuries could plague any of
Yes.
them.
Absolutely.
And you never know. One of them could go on a 4-game losing streak and just do terrible and completely shut their chances on the door.
We'll hope not.
Number 5, CJ Stroud.
Understandable spot after last week.
He didn't. I think he had 86 passing yards, 0
wasn't a
touchdowns,
lot.
0 interceptions. Very run-heavy game with Joe Mixon.
It was a Joe Mixon game, yeah,
Um,
man.
But so for each of these quarterbacks, I'm just going to talk about 4 stats and what place they are in with that stat.
Nice. All right.
So Stroud has 1,663 yards, which is 7th. He's got 10 touchdowns, which is tied for 7th. He's 4th in. He has 4 interceptions, which is tied for 51st, and he's got a 60 QBR rating, which is 12th. I can see him making a big jump up to still a long season to go. Could very easily become number 1 very soon. It does hurt that Nico Collins is out, but I think he still has plenty of offensive weapons to get up there.
Do you think, not just this game, because he was really good before he got injured, do you think Joe Mixon has anything to do with this?
I mean, when you got a good running back, you're going to use him. And so that just takes away from all the different passes that Tank Dell hasn't really been himself this year.
Recovering from that injury still, clearly.
I just think, I mean, if you have a game plan, if you're going against an offense that's got a terrible run defense,
Yeah.
you're going to want to run. So I think he'll have his big games and then he'll have a few more slower games like this, depending on what defense they're playing. Number 4. This one might surprise you. Joe Burrow.
No, not a surprise at all. Not with the way he's played of late.
A lot of people would say because of his record, he's not even in the running.
Whatever.
I think that's crazy. He is put up 1,759 yards, which puts him in 6th place. 14 touchdown passes, which puts him in 4th place. 2 interceptions, tied for 39th place, and a QBR of 72.6, which is 4th place.
No wonder he's your 4th, though. This boy's had a good season.
Yeah, and so it sucks to see someone who's doing so good have a losing record like his.
It's not his fault.
They're starting
not
to come
his
back, though. They're starting to come
Yeah,
back.
they are.
Number 3, Josh Allen. Not quite as many yards as the other 2. He's only got 1,483, but he does have 12 touchdowns. So he's tied for 5th in touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
Oh, yeah.
He's had a perfect touchdown to interception season so far. So he's tied for 1st. And with his QBR rating, he is in 1st place with that. Number 2, Jared Goff. He is having, I think, his best career season so far, if you ask me.
And it is quiet.
Not a lot of people are talking about the Lions.
I bet Detroit's love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1,610 yards, 9th place in yards, 10
Nice.
touchdowns, tied for 7th with CJ Stroud.
Mm.
He does have 4 interceptions, so him and C.J. Stroud are tied with touchdowns and interceptions, and
Okay.
tied at 51st, and yeah, 57.3 QBR.
Nice.
It's 15. So you know who number 1 is, Justin.
Oh, it's Lamar. We all know. It's Lamar. I
Who
know that
is
that's your pick.
very understandably
Yes. Absolutely.
1,810 yards. He's tied for or 5th place in yards, 15 touchdowns, tied for 2nd, 2 interceptions, tied for 39th, QBR rating of 74.3, which is 2nd to Josh Allen. Plus, he has more rushing yards than all of those guys with 453, I think he has.
If he wins MVP, what is that going to be? His third or
It'll
second?
be his 3rd MVP back to back. So he got one, didn't win MVP. Then he got it last year, and I think he'll. So if he gets it this year, it'll be back to back MVPs for him.
That must make you feel really good as a Ravens
So
fan. Man, it must
I
make you
I
great.
hope he stays. I hope he never leaves. I hope Derrick Henry never leaves. I just keep this team forever.
So, man, I I hate that your list is right.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I would switch, did you have Josh Allen at number 2?
I had him at 3, Jared Goff at number 2.
I You know what? Actually, the only thing I would switch about your list, I would take 4 and 5 off.
And just have those 3.
Just have those 3. No, no. Well, for the sake of top 5, no. But I think like getting top, like unattaching the top 5 out of it, I think it's a 3-guy race for at least best quarterback. But we all know the MVP is a quarterback award, so like really the 3-person race for MVP is Lamar, Jared Goff, and Josh Allen.
And if it is for some reason not going to be a quarterback this year, it's going to be Derrick Henry.
It better be.
I think he's going to break the record this year.
I was about to ask you to tell people what you told me about him really the other day. Yeah. Insight. Give some insight, man.
So the record right now is held by Eric Dickerson. In 1984, he had 2,105. Now, Derrick Henry is already number 5 on like the lead rushing leaders per season. With back in 2020, he had 2,027. So he was less than 100 yards already from almost breaking the single season rushing record.
There's a reason we call him King Henry. You wanted him, and the only thing that stopped him last year was injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Carry on, sir.
Solid top 5 list though and again, this is just a single season total rushing yards.
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson's number 2, 2,097. So he almost broke the record in 2012. He missed it by 8 yards.
Of Jamal Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
That
2066. Barry Sanders is number 4 back in 97. He had 2,053. And Derrick Henry is number 5 in 2020. He had 2,027. Chris Johnson, I've heard a lot of people talk about him because a lot of people think he holds the single season record.
I thought he did I was young, so I thought he did for a really long time, but no, he's just like
he's number 7 on the list.
In my opinion, he's probably the best example of a modern day running back.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at what is going on now, you can pretty much look at him and say, oh, he kind of was the template for what we have now. Because we're moving away from Nick Chubb, who he's back, everybody. Good to see you back, Nick.
So is Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, you're moving towards Kareem Hunt. Like that's what you're doing. Yeah.
As much as I would love Lamar to get back to back, it would be kind of cool to see it not be a quarterback.
All right. Yep. This one is a hot take.
Oh boy.
Well, you'll love it. It has to do with the Ravens. Derrick Henry Derrick Henry even sniffs 2,000 yards, if he even sniffs 2,000 yards, Lamar MVP or not, you have to pay attention to Mr. Harbaugh. You have to put him up into the same conversation as Tomlin. And I hold Tomlin in a very high
Absolutely.
regard.
Yeah, I do too.
Um,
I like Tomlin a lot.
spe-
Um,
Speaking of Tomlin, real
oh,
quick, if I were you, Steelers, I would start Russell Wilson again until it doesn't work.
I don't know.
That
It's hard
was that
because
was one I watched. That
what do
was
you have
some.
his stats pulled up?
I have Russell's stats pulled up: 16 for 29, 264, and two touchdowns, no picks. And I mean, I suppose OG Russell fans won't really like this, but I do. Because I'm looking at the stats, I certainly like it being a football fan. Russell Wilson, 3 carries for 3 yards and a touchdown, so he got one in at the goal line.
Mhm.
But Russell Wilson is not throwing any interceptions, and Najee's being good again.
Mm-hmm.
102 from Najee with a touchdown.
Yeah.
And then another reason just to keep Russell starting. I mean, um, sure. And
So
5-2 isn't looking too bad right now.
no, that's pretty good for the
So,
Steelers.
all right. We do the quick fire predictions. We are all done on this podcast talking about the previous week because if you're listening, you probably at least looked around the football sphere. So we're gonna predict what we got for next week. Week 8. Coming right up Thursday. Vikings and Rams. I'm still high on them. Vikings. What about you, man?
Vikings. I think they bounce back this week.
Perfect. Packers and Jaguars. Jordan Love just continues to do it.
Solid.
Packers.
Going Packers.
Cardinals and Dolphins. I'm going to go Cardinals. I do not think Tua is going to have a good game.
Who's at home?
Dolphins are at home.
Going Dolphins.
Well, we'll see who's right. We don't actually know. We do have to mention it. Jets and Patriots. I think the Patriots will win at home.
Jets, Patriots. Oh man.
Ayahuasca's not going to help him this time.
I think the Patriots win it too. I think Drake May's going to have another good game.
Patriots fans rejoice. Please believe in him. Because damn, it's nice to watch.
It's still early to tell, but they might actually have someone to build a team off of now because they completely restarted pretty much. They got rid of all of their super weapons on offense and defense, it seems. And
you just got to get a better coach, guys. That's all. Next one, your boys going to Cleveland. Ravens win, but it will be slightly closer because Jameis Winston is going to start.
I think so too. I think they should have had
Yeah.
Jameis play in the last 2 or 3 weeks, honestly.
Right. I was going to mention it and I didn't. Shame on you, Browns fans who were at the game and beyond. If you were laughing in your home about this guy getting injured, I understand he's a scumbag and I agree, but that is not cool. As a diehard Celtics fan, in an era where LeBron led the Cavs to the East, I remember there was one series in the playoffs where he got injured. I was not happy, and people were cheering in Boston. You know what? I want them to have the best person. Deshaun Watson is not the best person, but I want the Ravens to face a full, healthy team.
I think his career's done. I think that's it for him.
I agree with you 100%. Moving on, Eagles and Bengals. I'm going to get yours first. Let's get yours, man. What do you think?
Man, the Bengals are just defensively just non-existent, it seems. Their offense.
Is it that bad?
Yeah, that's
Those
why.
are some strong words, man.
Man, Joe Burrow's doing so good.
Yeah,
Their offense isn't terrible.
No.
But it's not as good as it has been the last couple of seasons, but their defense is just so bad. I think I'm going to go Eagles.
Yeah, Eagles. Yeah, I can't forget They're one of my teams. So the
Who
Eagles,
I
yeah.
will say are not the same this year.
No, not at all. Colts and Texans. It doesn't need to be said, but we have to because we're predicting. Texans. They're at home, hands down.
Yeah, I'm going Texans.
Yep. Titans and Lions. I am. He might as well just take out like a bunch of deals for Mayo commercials because he's not the guy.
I'm
I
pretty
hate
sure
it.
they started Rudolph last week or
They
this
did.
last Sunday. Yeah.
He's Will Levis isn't the guy. They need to. A couple other creators I'm watching have said expect DeAndre Hopkins to be in a different jersey by the time the trade deadline is up. Yeah, expect it. Expect a lot.
Hmm.
It's bad over in Tennessee. Tony Pollard, bro, I feel for you. Go play somewhere where you can just kick ass. Lions, absolutely.
Yeah, Lions, easy.
Falcons and Bucks.
Ooh, that's a close matchup, actually.
Yeah, really close.
Um, I think after this last week, not having Mike Evans or Chris Godwin, I think it's got to be the Falcons. I think the Bucks are pretty much done for the season.
They're missing both of them. I know Mike
So
Evans went down with the hamstring.
Godwin dislocated his ankle or broke his ankle.
Ooh.
It was bad actually. If you
So he
watch the
could be
highlights, it doesn't
so
look
he,
good.
wow, so he could be
He might be out for the rest of the season.
yeah, wow, the ankle. That's no do not want to mess with that. Yeah, as much as I love Baker this year and the
Yeah,
whole team, Falcons, I do love Kirk, so Falcons. And we don't need to talk about this one. But Saints and Chargers. I love the Chargers. I'll go with the Chargers.
I love the Chargers too. I'm gonna go them too.
Um,
Maybe.
Bills and Seahawks. I'm going against the grain.
Ooh,
Seahawks win. Josh Allen does not have any interceptions. He keeps it going, but Seahawks are sneaky good. They win
they're
at
sneaky good.
home. Big 12 is on the field, aka the crowd. Bless you. And the Seahawks just they don't win by a lot, but they win. They do dominate though. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go Bills.
But does Josh Allen have any interceptions? I think that's the more important
No.
question. Perfect. Good. I'm happy. Bears and Commanders.
That's. I don't think Jaden Daniels is playing, and for that reason, I'm gonna go Bears.
I'd like to see if Caleb Williams can have another good game like he had in London.
And I'm not too
Bears.
sure on that. Jalen or Jaden Daniels might play. I don't think they have completely ruled him out. I think they're
I
all.
think
It's going to be how is he in practice this week? If he
what's
feels good, then he will play.
the Chiefs going against Vegas.
Yeah,
They're in
they,
Vegas. Can we just hope that Taylor Swift comes to Vegas and her and Travis just have a crazy night out and he gets way too wasted to even be able to play?
yeah. I just think it's crazy. I don't quite remember. I think going into this last week, Patrick Mahomes is having a career low season, and they're still undefeated. Right?
It's the defense.
Their defense
Credit
is
the
incredible.
defense. Like, damn, guys.
I think
I
Patrick Mahomes has 6 touchdown passes and 6 interceptions.
Yeah, and he's not. Correct me if I'm wrong, and if you don't know, please yell at me and yell at us. I'm roping you into this now. Yell at us in the comments. Didn't Mahomes get injured in the Super Bowl last year?
I don't believe so.
Ankle injury?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, you know what? I don't want to be yelled at. This is one I am going to look up. Mahomes aggravated a high ankle sprain during the Super Bowl against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, so not last year.
So not last year.
No.
Oh wow, they're putting up a bit. They're showing a still of a video and it's his face and he looks really uncomfortable and I'm not upset about it. Um I mean, I'm not a football player, of course. I probably would be a really bad one if I was. I will say I got a high ankle sprain like 4 years ago, and it still bothers me to this day because I didn't go to physical therapy.
Hmm.
So maybe that high ankle sprain, maybe the ankle is bothering him. Maybe that's the reason. I mean, Rasheed Rice and your and Pacheco not being indefinitely hurts.
Yeah.
I don't I won't watch the Chiefs. I don't watch them. Fuck them. So I
Yeah,
don't know if
no,
that
not
offensive
a
line is
fan.
good or not. I just hope they party way too much in Vegas. I hope they like bring some cheeseburgers to Andy Reid and they happen to be like laced with something that makes him just go to bed. Mel Knowing Andy Reid, it would take melatonin. That's it. They lace it with some liquid melatonin. They're good burgers. He's like, this might taste a little funny, but you know what? Maybe it's just a bad night for the restaurant. And he just conks out, and they're like, all right, coach is done. Let's go party. We'll move quickly through two of the three of these games because I'll just want to complain for a minute. Panthers and Broncos. Broncos. Definitely Broncos.
Yeah,
I want
absolutely.
to say Panthers. I want Ben to get that tattoo, but no, Broncos.
Mhm.
Giants and Steelers. My thoughts are already known. Steelers win. Russell plays again. They play well. They win.
Who did you say? Steelers and who?
Oh, Steelers, Giants, and they're in Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
Steelers.
And finally, the other Sunday night game. Oh, sorry. Yeah, yeah. The other Sun. No. Wait a minute. I'm stupid. Sorry. There's one Monday night game and there's one Sunday night game.
Mhm.
Somebody's ridiculous. It's me.
Although there was two Monday night football games
Okay, so I'm not
last
crazy. Oh,
night.
great,
Last
great.
night.
That's reassuring. The dog happens to agree that it is reassuring, and I couldn't be happier. Thank you, puppy. And the last game, really quick, because I honestly think at this point, because of last week, it could be a real toss-up. Cowboys and 49ers in San Francisco. I'm actually going to root for the Cowboys. I think the bye week did them good.
You said at San Francisco.
At San Francisco,
Oh man, that's a really close game. Both of
Dallas
them
does seem to perform
missing.
well in prime time.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Dallas.
Do I have them next week? Oh shoot, I actually have them next week too. Or sorry, the week after. Wow. Well, I won't. I don't want to get myself excited, so I won't look past that.
Nah, I
But
wouldn't.
yeah, hopefully Cowboys win. You know what? Actually, at this point, I should root for them to lose the rest of the year so they can get a decent pick and maybe get a Austin Eckler in 2024 level running back.
Yeah.
I'd be really happy. So that was the the upcoming picks, and I'm gonna leave everybody with this.
Mhm.
Next week, so week 8 coming right up, starting Thursday, but they have nothing to do with it actually. Sunday, two games are really, really telling for my picks for the Super Bowl this year. If we get two wins from these two teams, and Blake, guys, I'm sorry, I don't want to bury the lead. Blake said so. Blake told me. Blame Blake. Thank you. Yep, these next two games here, if the team is even playing, if they're not, I'm stupid. Nope, they're both good. Yeah, if wins are coming down the pipelines for these two teams, and then yes, it's weird. Two other particular teams being the 49ers and the Chiefs. If they lose, oh, my picks are going to change big time. Leaving a little air of mystery. A lot of creators do this. If you've lasted this long in the video, I would like you to put in the comments big buttery Frankfurter. That's big buttery Frankfurter right in the comments. That would make me so fucking happy.
That's the
This has
title right
been
there.
this has been Backfield Breakdown, and that is a good point to end. Week 8's coming up. A lot of crazy things. I would like to say it couldn't get crazier, but it might. Um, I've been Justin. That's been Blake with the
I'm here.
glasses on this evening.
Spider.
And this has been Backfield Breakdown. We're continuing on with the chains. We're inclusive. Tip everybody. Drink fluids. Who am I to tell you what to drink? And let's tailgate. But as a bonus, and Indianapolis, hi guys. You just start Joe Flacco. Just rip the Band-Aid off and just start him. All right. That's it. Have a good night, everybody.
See ya.
Enjoy.